Hi everyone, welcome back to the Jennifer Gale Real Estate Team channel. Today, we're talking buying a house. Do you know how to buy a house? Some do, some don't, some haven't for a while. That's what we're gonna discuss today, in depth. Get ready, let's go. Step one, what do? You come talk to a real estate professional, preferably somebody from the Jennifer Gale Real Estate Team. You've been discussing with whoever's important in your life, we want to buy a house or I want to buy a house. The first step is obviously, what can you afford? What do you think you want? Where do you think you want it? Everybody's got hopes and dreams. Sometimes they're reality, sometimes they're not. If you make that appointment with us, we're going to sit down with you. We're going to talk about those things I just said, like I want to move to Woodstock, or I want to move within Woodstock. I want to be in the north side. I think I want a bungalow or a two-story. I think I want a garage, or I don't want a garage. I want a big lot. I don't want a big lot. I want a condo. Lots of options to buy. We're going to try to kind of pinpoint what those options are. We're going to probably ask some general questions about finances, but we're not going to get too deep into that, us personally, because that's not our job. That's for the mortgage people. And that is something that's going to really tailor your search. Step two, you're going to go see your lender. The lender could be somebody that we've recommended if you don't know anybody, or it could be somebody you've worked with previous. It could be somebody your parents told you to go see. It could be a friend, but they're a mortgage professional and they're going to guide you on the path that you need. Income, that's the first thing they're going to look at. So I think for your best benefit, not that it's required, but if you had pay stub, T4, tax return, those are all things a lender will want to see that will make their job easier to come up with a price that you can afford. They're going to look at your debt, your car payments, your student loans. If you're a seller and you're buying, they're going to look at the equity you have in your current home. These are all things that a lender is going to paint that picture of price point. Whether you can afford 300, 400, 500, 600. It could be you can afford more than you want to afford, and that's something that you might be able to talk to one of us about, or your lender, your comfort zone. It's all part and parcel to tailoring that search when you come back to us. We're going to look at the right house for you, and then we go to town. Step trois. Now you're really excited. You've talked to your lender, you've got a number, it's reality. They've said, you're good to go, man. Go talk to your real estate agent. We're gonna meet up again, preferably. Wouldn't love it through email, I'd like it through person because I like this time. You're gonna come to us and say, Drew, we can afford 500 grand. We want this, we want this, we want this, we want this. And sometimes we're going to say, can't have it all, but we're going to try. We're going to talk about what that house is going to look like in 5 years. So if you're a new buyer, you're buying it with a girlfriend or a wife, are you going to have kids in 5 years? So is that house you're looking at going to be good, or are you going to want to move in 5 years? If you're older, what is that house going to look like in 5 years? Going to have a lot of steps? Is it going to have a big yard? Is it going to have a lot of maintenance? A lot of these factors are what we're going to talk about in that meeting, and we're going to try to find the best house for you for your future that we plan. So, you may tell us we're like, this is a 5-year house and then we're going to move on to the next one, or we want to be in this one for the rest of our lives. So it's got to work in all aspects. Those are all things we're going to talk about. We're going to get excited. We're going to write stuff down, and you're going to be really pumped up for the next step. Step 4, you are unbelievably excited now. We've probably exchanged a list of houses. You've emailed me some, I've emailed you some. We are going to meet at X address on X street on a Saturday afternoon or an evening during the week. And let's say we're going to see 4 or 5 houses one day, we're going to see maybe 4 or 5 houses another day, and we're going to look at all those houses that fit your criteria. We may not get every single aspect or every single box checked, but we're going to try our best to find that perfect house in that price range that you're comfortable with. What does that look like? Personally, me, I drive myself. Some agents drive the clients. We're going to meet here at 4 o'clock, and we're going to go in, and you can bring a notepad. I'll have a notepad. I'm going to start kind of knowing you a little bit better as to, the things you say are going to tell me what's super important, what's like a deal breaker. You might have dogs, you might need a fenced yard. Those are all things that we're going to gather. I'm going to gather information on you. The more houses we see, the more I'll know, and the more we can get towards that next step, which is an offer. Step 5. We've looked at a bunch of houses over who knows how many weeks, days. Some people are super decisive. They can pick within 2 or 3 houses. Some people need a month or 2 because they're not decisive, and that's okay. You like one, you love one. You've told us we want it. Let's go. Let's offer on it. We're not going to talk about price range because that's going to be dependent on obviously what you've decided with your lender. But you want to offer. What's next? What do we do? What is the process? What does that look like for you? Well, it depends on how you want to do it. I think it should be done in person. We're going to sit down at the office, your house, somewhere private, preferably, and we can talk about price. What are you going to offer on? What does that look like? What conditions do you need in that offer so you are protected and you have the best chance to get that home? So there's going to be offer price. There's going to be what close date do you want? That means what date you take possession. Your deposit is important. That's going to be sometimes a percentage of the purchase price or just a number, usually in the $5,000 to $10,000 to $15,000 range, depending on the price of the house. That deposit is going to have to be paid to the listing brokerage within 24 hours of acceptance of that offer. So that's something to talk with your lender, with your parents, with wherever you can get that deposit, your savings, credit line. That's a factor, obviously, that's very important within an offer. Conditions. So what are normal conditions in an offer? They can be, or they should always be, a finance condition, absolutely, for 7 business days, maybe 10 days overall. That's where you're going to go back to your lender. You're going to give them a copy of the offer, or we give them a copy of the offer. They're going to say, okay, you've got $500,000. I approved you for $550,000. They're going to do a deep dive into your finances, maybe deeper than they did in that pre-approval process. And they're going to decide if they're going to give you a mortgage or not. And hopefully, if the accuracy of that pre-approval is correct, you're going to be good to go. And we're going to waive that condition. Inspection. What does that house look like? Is it old? Does it need to be combed through with a fine-tooth comb? Does that make sense? I hope so. Well, if it doesn't, it does now. Is there old stuff in that home? We did a video earlier this week on insurance. So are there things that make you nervous about that home? Did that basement have water in it? Do you think it had water in it? Is that roof okay? Is the attic dry? Lots of factors with that inspection. There's a lot of other conditions we can do in an offer. Those are the ones that are somewhat the general due diligence. Can you afford it? Is the house going to fall down? Step 6. We have done this offer and we've got it accepted. We've gone back and forth a couple times. We're happy. We're satisfied with the price we got. What do we do now? Well, we touched a little bit last segment on the deposit, and that's going to go to the listing brokerage within 24 hours. Now what? What do? Well, we go to the lender and we're going to take them whatever documentation they want. T4s, tax returns, anything that they feel like is going to paint that picture of you financially, we're going to do. And like I said, it's going to be 7-10 days. Hopefully that's going to be good. Let's assume that's good. Inspection, what does that look like? We're not going to get into an inspection, but what does that condition look like? It's basically a time frame, usually similar to the finance, that is going to be a time where you're going to phone up a local inspector. He's going to come out with his ladders and his lights and his instruments and all of this fancy stuff they have. And he's going to look at that house in detail. They're going to look at the attic, the wiring, the plumbing. They're going to have their moisture meters, their heat readings, and all their fancy stuff. They're going to make this big fancy booklet for you with all these things checked off. And I mean, they can't look inside a wall. They can't deconstruct anything to give you, surgery on that house, but they're going to look at, approximate age of the roof, furnace. There's a lot of things they look at, and they're going to be pertinent to you feeling comfortable with that house as far as what needs to be maybe done in the future, near future, long future. And we're going to have to be satisfied that what we saw during the offer process, why we offered on that house, is not really going to be negotiable. You can't go into an inspection, find out the furnace is a certain age. If that inspector says it's got 5 years left, that's not a renegotiation point. We are just going to look at that house, what the inspector says. They don't pass them or fail them. They just give you information about those houses. So let's assume you're satisfied. Finance is good. Inspection's good. What do we do now? We fill out a fulfillment of condition with your real estate agent. You basically are signing off on those conditions. You've met them. You've fulfilled them. And we send that to the listing agent, and you are going to own a house. Step 7, we have filled out the fulfillments. You're going to own a house. That closing date may be 45 days. It might be 60 days. It might be 30 days. What do you do now? Well, there's a few things you can do. Obviously, where you live now, whether it be at home, an apartment, or you're moving from a different house, you're going to start packing up. The easier you can make it for the movers or your buddies, the better. So boxes, labeled, all that kind of terrible stuff. You're going to book movers if you're going to book movers. Sometimes people obviously have their friends and they feed them pizza and beer, and that's cool. But if you're going to book movers, book them ASAP. Book them for the day that you want to move. Book them for the morning. And what else do? You are going to set up all your utilities for that house. Hydro, gas, internet, could be a water heater. I always make sure, almost nowadays, internet is as important as anything. I remember my house, one of them that we moved in, there was a football game I wanted to watch, and my wife has a picture of me sitting in an empty house in a lawn chair watching the football game because my most important priority was a TV and internet. Nothing else. So I think we actually moved like the day after or something. Anyway, that's another story. But yeah, have all your utilities booked so when you get there, you have hydro, you have gas, heat if it's in the winter, air conditioning if it's in the summer, you have hot water if you want to bathe, and you have internet so you can do what you need to do on the internet. We are getting down to the time, the day. What is involved in those last few days before you take this house? Well, the lawyers. You're gonna get a call from the lawyer and they are going to want you to come in and sign. I always kind of bug is sign your life away, but actually it's a really fun time. They're gonna have all the adjustments they've made figured out beforehand. So they're gonna basically tell you to come in with a check, and that check is going to consist of their fees, the down payment, the land transfer tax, any adjustments they've made as far as what you owe to get into that house. You're gonna sign all the documents as far as titles and all the legal mumbo jumbo. I'm not a lawyer. I've done it a few times. I just sign. I should probably be more aware of what I'm signing, but it's all basically on the up and up as far as you're going to own the house free and clear. You owe the down payment to the bank, and then that's usually about two or 3 days before close. Then there's a little bit of a, heart-stopping moment where you're like, wow, you leave the lawyer's office and you're in it, like it's real, right? So that day of close then comes, and what happens? Well, you're going to get a call from your real estate agent because they will have gotten a lockbox code. That lockbox will be at the house for you with a code to get in, to get the key, to get into your new home. Super exciting. You walk into that house for the first time. If you're a first-time home buyer, there's nothing better because you now own real estate. It's a great feeling. It's a start to a great investment in your future, and it's just a really, really good day. Everyone, I hope that was helpful. We're gonna have plenty more of these how-to videos coming up soon. Stick with us. I'm Drew Simmons from the Jennifer Gale Real Estate Team. Like and subscribe to the channel. Today we talked about buyers. Check out our buyer guide, moving guide. The link is in the description. And if you're looking to buy a home in Oxford County, you can find us at jennygsells.com or call 519-536-7743. And if anybody knows me, they know this was super uncomfortable for me to do, but I've been told I'm a natural, so I'm gonna keep doing it, and you're stuck with me. So, like, I look at this, I've got a little board behind the camera there that I'm kind of prompting off of, and it says link in description. I actually don't know how to do that when I watch YouTube, so I hope you do. I'm the most untechy guy. I've got Rachel Little over here helping. She's laughing again because she knows I'm a tool. But they say I'm good in front of the camera, so say my name. Say my name. Till next time.